And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, for this Three Wise Man Wednesday show. And we have a very special guest joining us. We will get started in just moments. Smash that like button.
RiceTVx, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, vice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he sports only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
So check it. We're streaming on all three of our channels, YouTube, X, My Rumble. Make sure you hit that like button and repost on the X side.
Navigate the system critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain. In the arena where truths collide, RiceTVx, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
Looking for a reliable crypto exchange? Look no further than Fairdesk.com. Trusted by Crypto Blood for over 2.5 years, Fairdesk powers Bloodalytics, his proprietary trading system known for highly accurate buy and sell signals. CB has trusted Fairdesk's reliable system for years to enhance his trading strategy with Bloodalytics. It's the backbone of consistently beating the market. So join CB and trade with confidence. Use the link in the description below and get 1 month free of Bloodalytics signals. Fairdesk.com. Trade smarter, trade better.
That's right. Trade smarter, trade better. Shout out to the one sponsor of RiceTVx. Shout out to Presearch, the decentralized search engine with AI that rewards. Information's in every video description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Before I take this thumbnail off the screen, again, we are streaming on all three of our YouTube channels. That is RiceTVx, Rice Crypto. We have Crypto Blood. We have MineYourBiz. We also have a special guest in the house. So we're streaming on all of our YouTube channels, on our X accounts, My Rumble. We have links down below for each other's channels and socials in each other's video description. And today's very special guest is a man that they call the Druth. The Druth is with us.
What is up, my man? What is up? And glad to join you guys. I don't listen to many other crypto influencers out there, and every single one of you on this show, some of the few people that I listen to in your opinions where we're going in the market. So big shout out to you boys, and thanks for letting me on.
Thank you, man. And if people don't know Drew, which you should, he is obviously with Blockchain Basement as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the Blockchain Basement YouTube channel, following at Druth Crypto. If you're not following Seth over on the X, he's at MineYour_biz. You can check out Blood at CryptoBlood_ and myself at RiceTVx.
Yeah, Rice, I heard that I heard Drew is in the Blockchain Basement because he's blockchain based.
We are the based men, you know, nothing is below us and everything goes over our heads down here. But it's a pretty awesome thing to be a part of, man. Like the channel's just it's got legs of its own. Somehow the algorithmic robots have let us out of our cage over the past 6 months. And
I was telling Rice.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. I've had a chance to like talk to Roger Stone. We're talking on the Trump MAGA spaces. It's just an incredible time to see it kind of, you know, a few years ago, I was like, I want to move to the woods. I want to be heard at the same time. I didn't know how I was going to get there. And here I am in Northwestern Georgia, just spitting my thoughts and my beliefs on the internet, and people are seeming to listen. So it's going good.
Well, I would say too, that consistency, you know, it obviously picked up. You guys have been very consistent with what you guys have been doing. So, I mean, that I think is a big factor as well. And I'm even speaking to myself, but I'm saying, I think consistency definitely at some point, something's going to click. And, you know, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
And thanks for joining us. And I do want to let people know that we had done that prepping for the apocalypse episode last Wednesday, and we were going to do a second part of that today with Druth, but we decided to put that off for for 2 weeks from today, the 31st. So we'll be doing that conversation, the part 2 of the prepping. But today we're going to talk about Donald Trump, what happened at the rally, the assassination attempt, and me and Blood have covered a reaction that we did with Hotep Jesus on Saturday. We did a stream, I believe Sunday or Monday, I believe, where we kind of went into the stranger than fiction element with some prophecy from a gentleman from like 4 months ago that pretty much prophesized this thing to a T. And then the strangely tangled flag that took the shape of either an eagle or an angel, which just
look at Seth. Seth's shaking his head.
Did you see the flag, Seth?
No, I didn't see the flag, but here's the thing, man. You can show me the Shroud of Turin and it'll be like, hey, it looks like a piece of cloth. There's some stuff that for me, you know, I will, you know, I do give credit to the divine and to Providence. And I think that absolutely there was somebody watching out, you know, for our former POTUS here. But I try to be really careful about what I ascribe to the supernatural, because then, you know, if you ascribe too much, then you're giving everything to the supernatural. And where's there room left for us to do our bit, right? I'm always careful about that.
Is this on screen? Yeah, you can see this. You see this magnificent thing.
Incredible. Incredible.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, this is pretty crazy. The wind tangled it in just this particular position where it looks like it could be an eagle or an angel, and it just adds that much more to the idea that Donald Trump was divinely protected.
Speaking of added, though, that lens flare is actually added in post. So again, let's be careful, right? Let's be a little careful.
I get it, but okay, yeah, no, we got to be careful about all this. We definitely do, and me and Blood have said that. So we wanted to kind of get your perspectives from, you know, about everything, but more of the shooter side of things, the technical aspect of it, because some of that seems to me a little off. And without, I guess, putting video on, I can share a video in the background with no audio, is what I meant to say. That shows a little bit of I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch this. Drew, I didn't send it to you.
Let's check it out.
Quick little video that we can just play where it's giving a breakdown of the setup.
Huge. Look at the people.
I mean, I guess I could put a version of it on with sound if we're going to sit here and just be quiet as it's.
Well, I mean, first of all, why are they all like skeletons or like aliens? Everyone else but President Trump is.
Well,
like
just shout out to whoever created this thing on the fly, because I was thinking, like, how much work did it take to do this and put it out so quickly? Unless this was part of like the inside information, who knows? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, it's coming over.
In Butler, Pennsylvania, former U.S. President Donald Trump speaks at a rally.
Look at all those white people.
He plans to accept official Republican nomination.
Some rednecks.
He's just minutes into a speech when shots are fired.
Look what happened. Then Booster just stands there.
Trump got hit, but survived.
It wasn't a mortal wound.
To assassinate him in broad daylight. Here is how it unfolded.
Looks like an army soldier, like one of the classic army soldiers.
Yeah, these are probably stock assets that's inside of some type of a pre-visualization software.
By the
It's
time
pretty
this
common.
video is published, new details might have emerged. It's a hot, sweltering early evening as tens of thousands gather here to see Trump. Pennsylvania is one of 6 vital swing states that will help secure the win in the next presidential election. Butler skews heavily Republican, and it is a blue-collar town.
This is a big crowd. This is a big, beautiful crowd.
He is surrounded by supporters. Most are sitting or standing in front of the stage. Some sit on the bleachers, center, left, and right. Trump's support staff and security, including Secret Service agents, are right at the stage.
Look at all those women.
Behind him are 3 large buildings. On the roof of the building on the far left and on the far right are Secret Service snipers. They are constantly scanning the surroundings, looking for threats. They can be seen in this video filmed by a crowd member.
Hello, Butler, and hello to Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back.
Trump begins with his speech. Things seem normal. He turns to the right and points at a chart showing statistics on border crossings. At the same time, several people in the crowd notice a man with a gun on the roof of a building close by. It's too late.
Take a look what happened.
All of a sudden, bullets start flying. One even gets captured on camera. Another building, about 400 feet or 120 meters north of the stage. The shots are coming from here, on the roof. The gunman is 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is armed with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle. The gun was legally purchased by his father. First, he apparently fires a round of 3 shots.
Take a look what happened.
Trump reaches up with his hand. The first bullet pierces the upper part of his right ear. He will later say that turning over to the right at that exact moment prevented the bullet from hitting him right in the head. He ducks down behind the podium, and within 3 to 4 seconds after the first shot, Secret Service agents swarm the former president and shield him with their bodies. Crooks opens fire again, immediately, with 5 more shots. Right before the first shot by Crooks, one of the snipers on the left roof behind Trump seems to detect the gunman and prepares to return fire.
Take a look what happened.
Some outlets report that these snipers killed Crooks, while the Secret Service confirmed its personnel neutralized the shooter. We could not corroborate that it was in fact these specific agents. The gunman also hit spectators on the bleachers. One man died, 50-year-old Corey Comprador.
What do you want?
What? Secret Service wants to take credit and not take ownership of fucking what the
The whole thing.
This is
fake.
just
Others
nonsense.
critically injured. With Trump's microphone still on, we can hear the tense exchanges among the agents.
Hold, when you're ready, on you. Ready, move, go.
About 42 seconds after Crooks opened fire, they confirm the shooter is down.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? Let's go.
They prepare to escort him to an armored vehicle.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my Gucci.
Damn. Knock the shoes off.
Watch out.
Wait.
In about 75 seconds after ducking to the ground, Trump raises his fist. He's mouthing the words, "Fight, fight, fight." The resulting photos immediately travel around the entire world. The crowd starts to chant for the former president as he leaves the stage, bleeding. Trump is then rushed to a hospital. Later that night, he is flown to New Jersey. He appears to be well.
Oh my God, there's so much.
There are a lot of questions we don't have an answer.
So
We're gonna
much.
get to his question.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck are we doing hiring underqualified Secret Service agents that don't cover his entire body?
Have you heard
bro?
the one of the excuses is that Jill Biden had an appearance in
heard
Pennsylvania or something else at the same time, and
Took a lot of resources.
maybe he got the B team.
Literally, there's 360 million Americans, and that is the top position for an armed person to hold. And you have a much more qualified pool to pull from than that bumbling
B
Rosie
team.
O'Donnell looking fool that
Yeah.
couldn't get her weapon reholstered,
Right.
that wasn't covering his entire body, which honestly is a basic understanding of requirements. You should be able to shield the person that you're protecting. It's such a crock
So
of shit.
are you saying, Drew, that was the DEI hire? That she
Absolutely.
was the DEI hire? Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is a result of
there were two.
institutionalized, like this is a move against people, like a move against people like me that train a lot. And, you know, if I'm stacked up against another DEI option, they're going to hire that option instead of me. This is crazy to see someone holding the position of Secret Service that can't even cover his body, let alone get their gun reholstered. It's pathetic.
Look at this shit. They couldn't even get over this fence. They ended up having to take a vehicle and crash it into this fence to where they could then go in and go. This is how ridiculous this was.
Yeah. It took them 4 minutes from the
This is Secret Service and state police.
Yeah. So sad,
right
man.
here.
Like,
under Biden, many decades ago, under Biden, the IQ requirements for law enforcement were lowered, by the way. They were lowered.
Well, it shows right here. It clearly shows because it's like, look, oh, we just crashed into the fence. Now we can get through it. And then everybody rushes through. But it's the craziest thing.
Yeah. Such a hodgepodge.
You're just standing there. And look,
it's embarrassing. This is completely embarrassing for America. Like, not just the Democrats for pushing your narrative to punch
and that's
Trump
how
in the
long
face.
it's taken them so far. Like, this is 45 seconds into this, almost a minute.
Oh my God.
This is just, again, that's why it says total failure.
This ain't shit because the dude has been popped. So I don't know what they're like. Oh yeah, now we're going to be heroes. No, he's already dead on the roof.
And also to the person that says something about crypto people being mesmerized by this, it's not being mesmerized by this. It's having a discussion about what's been put into the narrative.
This is more important than crypto. How about that?
100%.
Round of applause. Round of applause. This is more important than crypto.
100%.
This is more important than sports. This is more important than any entertainment. This is what's wrong with this country and this world.
I completely agree with you, Blood. And we honestly were a half an inch from waking up to civil war. I'm sorry to say, but
I think everybody's pretty much been on that position. Or I mean, maybe not necessarily civil war, but just pandemonium, craziness. Shit would have really went down. There would have been a lot of militant groups.
Fire. I put it to you that way, without saying too much. It would have been some return fire.
Let's see here.
This is a little bit more.
My thing is to Offnear's. You can highlight Offnear's question. How he says, my question is how the snipers didn't see him before he fired. They did. We're going to talk about that.
That's what we're looking at right here.
They had eyes on him for 42
seconds right here is what is this on screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, when I'm sharing like this, I can't see I'm in a different browser, but yeah, this is showing where he was already looking in the scope 42 seconds before the shot. So they could have clearly isolated this. Plus, then we have sniper took picture of Trump rally shooter saw him use rangefinder before assassination attempt, source says. So apparently a sniper from a local tactical team deployed to assist the U.S. Secret Service took picture of the gunman, saw him looking through the rangefinder minutes before he tried to assassinate the former president. Apparently they had already spotted this guy several different times and were and noticed that there was something, that he was somebody that they needed to pay attention to, but they kept technically losing him.
I know, it's so hard to believe that
hardcore skilled nerdy barely out of high school student who's never voted before and they're calling him a registered Republican.
Dude.
Yeah, and think about the basic security protocols of the Secret Service. They have months ahead of time to scout out the area. Sure, and to imagine that they're going to accidentally leave a ladder just lying around for someone to pick up, not to mention a 20-year-old kid breaching the perimeter and getting on top of the building where all of the police are actually staged. Okay, so the explanation that we got from the Secret Service is that they didn't go on top of the roof because they didn't want to worry about that 12-degree slope. Meanwhile, the guys that you just showed with the rangefinders were on a 15-degree slope. And they staged the police inside of the building that this shooter was on top of. What sense does that make? Also, the reports that a cop went up the ladder, saw the kid, and then ducked down in fear of his life. If you're a cop that has
no, I've heard conflicting things. I've heard
what have you heard?
That he went to like, I guess, draw his firearm and fell off the ladder. So I don't know if people are trying to make excuses or if the guy was a pussy.
Yeah, I mean that's incompetence because you go up with your shit already.
But also,
drunk.
dude, how many? This is the other thing that really disappointed me, and I'm glad that we're talking about it like this, is because how many people were filming this shit? How many people, like even that dude with the leprechaun looking dude with the BBC interview, the guy with the fake wig, who said we kept yelling and pointing. It's like, why the fuck didn't you do something, motherfucker? That's my biggest problem with this, is the fact that there were so many regular people that could have done the right thing, like the guy who protected his daughter.
What is
all they were doing was filming stuff and
gun
pointing.
laws? Maybe Seth or Drew, do you guys know Pennsylvania gun laws?
Pennsylvania's, I thought they were pretty freedom oriented. I thought that they even had constitutional carry. I could be wrong.
You can't.
But
the thing is, you couldn't bring it in Rice into
not into that
public events.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure.
What would you expect an attendee in a scenario like that to do?
Alert law enforcement, which they did.
They did.
And
it
didn't do anything.
There was enough people that they could have essentially ganged up. You can't shoot everybody. You know, if you got enough people coming at the dude, could have scared him off. He could have ran. I mean, if people would have done something more than just film, point, and yell. That's all.
Yeah, dude. At that range, I mean, not to sound indelicate, at that range, you could take a few steps and almost hit the motherfucker with a rock if you're just throwing it at him. Like, this was very close range. That's part of the entire story that I'm really struggling to come to terms with. Look, you can talk about the 12-degree slope on one roof and the 15-degree slope on the other, and these will be factors. If you're trying to like throw pills at 800 yards, 150 yards, come on. It's a sight picture, and that's it. That's all there is to consider. Is your sight picture. Period. You're not trying to lob anything with an arc. You're getting hardly any drop with standard loads at this caliber. I don't understand what like
the ladder was like, I think right here or something to that effect. No, the ladder was, I thought it was in between something.
Yeah, it's on the side of the building right there on that behind the sniper, I believe, is where actually the ladder was
already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was already there, which that should have been questionable in and of itself. Why do you have a ladder with?
Here's my thing. Here's my thing with that scenario or that situation. This young man must have scouted this area prior to today.
Yeah, so I saw something, and I can't confirm it, and I don't have it pulled up, but I did see something with a guy that lived really close to the location, and apparently crooks parked on his street. He thinks he was there the day before, but he's not 100% sure.
Had to have been.
Because
so you're not just stumbling across
the cops.
That's a sweetheart crow's nest right there. That's a sweetheart spot. If you want to take that shot.
Yeah. The cops realized it was his car, or his vehicle, whichever one it was. And so it was the correct vehicle. It's just this guy's memory. He's thinking it was there the day before, and he did kind of scope things out. Plus, describe one, Seth or Drew. What is a rangefinder specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a monocular that figures out the distance of your target and kind of calculates it. It's definitely used for hunting or long range shooting, but it just calculates the distance. And some of the nicer ones I've seen have windage on them.
I use it when I'm out there on the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, it's a basic tool. It's just a monocular that zooms in, gives you that actual distance from your target. And, I mean, the idea that this kid had the chance to scope it out, like, bro, the Secret Service, their standard is to scope and secure these locations months ahead of time and stay on that secured location. They don't just relinquish and go home. Like, they work in shifts. You know what I mean? You don't just let it go and go out of your eyes. There is always, a presence there when you have someone like Donald Trump set to arrive at the location. It's not part of the standard to let some 20-year-old that was in a BlackRock video 2 years ago show up and put a ladder on ahead of time, and then he shows up the next day.
Yeah, no, it's performative. It's performative. I without working security, I've worked at narrowcast religious events, right? So like mega churches, and when there's a visiting pastor, even you got security that's running with the mirrors on a stick underneath every single seat. You're doing sweeps of the facility itself. You're checking the parking lot, and I'm talking about people who nobody's ever even fucking heard of. And this is the POTUS, and it is less. Come on,
100%. 100%.
I know Drew's got to leave in about like 25 minutes because he's got Blockchain Basement going on at 2:00 p.m. If you guys have any like specific questions for Drew between now and then, this would be the time. Just so you guys.
Yeah, bro. Doing crypto specific content's kind of hard not to fall into the what the F is going on. If you aren't awake, you already need to wake up stuff. I mean, number go up, great, but we better be stacking iron, preparedness goods, generators, and go get trained if you're not already trained right now, guys. I thanked God Sunday morning when I woke up that we didn't wake up to something very, very ugly. And someone asked who would war be between. Honestly, look around, look at the polarization levels that this country has right now. It hasn't been this polarized since the late 1800s. So there's plenty to go around with the vitriol and the anger fermented on both sides. And it's been 8 years of calling us Nazis,
Yeah, exactly. And did you guys hear that a masked man with a gun was at the RNC?
Yes.
Caught, captured.
Yep. With an AK-47.
With an AK-47.
Did he get in the building, or was he just attempting to try to get in the building and got apprehended? Do you guys know?
He got America's other boogeyman long gun into the building, apparently, right? So now we got both boogeymen. Right? Exactly. Yeah, the cast is complete now. We got an AR and an AK. So
there you
we can do new legislation.
Good job, guys.
I know. Yeah. Well, and that's the gun grab. I
don't think it was the first time there was an attempt. It was just the only public one we know of, and I don't think it's going to be the last time. And I don't think they're going to stop until they get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the kids' parents were like psychologists or like it was like behavioral therapists or something like that. Like there's so many weird things about this kid's background that really just don't add up.
Okay.
And
Seth, read this out loud.
Oh, jeez. Watch Signal Girl at 10 position from your view. Do a clock rond with her sign. Give OK sign. Shot started. Watch woman at 2 position. Changed her hat just before. Watch her red sign seem to flicker. Yeah. So I think we're being.
This is somebody that I trust. This is somebody that I trust very well, and I believe this is very inside information. Very much intel.
Yeah. So I've
known this person for several years. Good to see you, by the way.
And we have I refrained from bringing in a wild card because I'd forgotten that you got that Drew was on today, so I didn't want to crash with another person. Too many cooks in the kitchen. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are interested in this, and I'm just gonna agree. All what was just mentioned there. There are there's a lot that we don't fully understand. There's a lot that's not being explicitly said from all this footage. But if you look for it, you'll find weird signals, semaphore, right? Signaling from one asset to another, potentially, if that's what you want to read in the tea leaves right now, is that there are several assets. I'm going to invoke the right of tinfoil hat wearing, right? So invoke the right of conspiracy theorizing.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about just kind of pre-gaming in the green room, how it's come to light that there's no possible way that there was a magic bullet that arced around JFK and penetrated, his skull from an angle other than where they said the grassy knoll theory. It holds some real weight, and I think that we may potentially be looking at another situation here where it's just too obvious. I'm sorry, I can ring steel with an ancient black powder device on iron sights at almost that range. How the fuck did this guy need a rangefinder? How the fuck did the Secret Service let him get that close? Why the fuck are we looking at that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Why the theater?
That's where they're pointing. They're pointing in it, and they want the attention on that. They don't want you to look the other way, and I get that. So somebody said, just tuning in, I guess, is Rice going with the event being real or fake? Here's the thing: the event was real. Just how it happened and what went down and how it occurred, I can't say. People got hurt. That was real. It's not AI. That there wasn't a state. There was no. I don't think the guy that died was that was staged. No, like that was a real event. But what caused it? That's a different question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have questions for, and I love AB and Johnny B Crypto. They're saying this was staged. It was a fake event. Now, if you believe that logic, and you're entitled to your opinion, how do you explain? Okay, first, Trump already ahead. Like, if he does nothing else, he was most likely going to be the candidate or the president, right? That's the first question. Why take such extreme steps and measures to do a fake event, to false flag, to get more support? Why do that when you're already ahead, big time? Secondly, how do you explain people being killed and injured?
Yeah. Well, and specifically, you're flashing signs of people who are incredibly weak-willed, easily manipulated, easily brainwashed, easily controlled. That's that. And this person that was found on top of the rooftop, dead men tell no tales. They seem to show similar background. So he fits the description of a so-called Manchurian candidate. Then, and he is dead now. We don't know who this motherfucker's puppet master was.
Right.
We can't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, is the event, in my opinion, real? Yes. Was he the shooter? Possibly not.
Well, I was on a space with the Trump coin team and Roger Stone a few weeks ago. And, obviously we were ahead of the polls and everything was going great. But I was like, everybody, like, we are not out of the woods yet. The Democrats are walking around with a chip on their shoulder. They're walking around like they ain't got nothing to worry about in this election. Sure, go let a geriatric represent you. If I'm a deep state Democrat that wants to get the next election locked up or to retain power, there is no way in hell I would let Joe Biden get anywhere near that stage. But instead, what we saw is a complete complacency within the Democrats. They had the chip on the shoulder. And that's what
exactly what they're about to do.
I was warning everyone about it, and then it happened, and I'm like, I'm sorry to piss in your Cheerios, but here's the next, and I pissed on the Cheerios again with what's coming after the election too, bro. And that's if we have an election.
Yeah, we talk about that too. You definitely tune in.
It's just we are on such a razor edge right now, and I definitely think the blood was real, the deaths were real. In my opinion, it's about who was in on it within the Secret Service, and honestly, we need a complete reform within the Secret Service. Even if no one was in on it, the incompetence that I saw.
Well, I mean, dude, there's people that even think that this was staged on the Trump end. Like it was a real event, but it was Trump that was the one that instigated it. I mean, that's how
what everyone
crazy. That's how crazy people are.
That's how I know That's how I know we have no.
And
no hope,
and
right?
talking
There's
about
no hope.
saying that they wish that the shooter didn't miss.
God. That's not cool that
shit,
I want to
man.
buy it. Yeah, that I want to buy it. I've got it. For me, the hard line is people saying like, "Oh, where they failed. Hopefully, they'll do it before election time." Like, please go seriously. Move to Russia or better, Canada. Just move to Canada. See how you like it there, like Russia, but with English. Like, just get out of here. We don't need you if that's how you feel about our process and sticking to the due process. But as far as there being any kind of a blame or a party to look for, the smoking gun now that not the actual shooter himself is dead. Look, I'm not ruling anything out personally because that's how deep some of this shit goes. And it's entirely possible that not Trump himself, but that somebody in his circle, maybe not right on the inside, but somebody in his circle did this shit to try to make him look good. I want to show a quick artifact. Really,
Or you got people in the inside that work to try to destroy from the inside out. So you could have people that work in the Trump camp that are double agents.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me show something really fast, just on the forensic side, because I know Drew's got to go. So I'd love to get a close up here if I can.
I'm chilling. I got till right up till 2.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Because quick, he's going to know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You've messed with some of these before, right?
Oh,
for the
you
kiddos.
betcha.
Yep, for the kiddos. Now, we haven't done anything that's going to get anyone flagged. But I'm just going to say Drew knows that this right here takes the big, scary boogeyman rifle that everybody wants to regulate, and it allows it to be rechambered in a training round, in a training caliber. And the barrel is the same. It uses the same size projectile, but with slightly less lethal force. A glancing blow across the skull. Drew, would that be a kill shot?
I mean, only if you hit the temple of the eye. He did turn to that angle. The plan was to, if this is the plan, right, then he would be turning. And then, so you're looking at the camera here. And if this is the move, then you'd be trying to capture that. But that is a very small tolerance of mistake right there.
Absolutely.
So,
now hear me out. That is with any kind of powder. This same projectile is a common caliber for air rifles with vinyl BBs as well. And it will take enough speed to damage soft tissue and cartilage, but never pierce bone and never go all the way through the eye cavity to pierce brain. Now you take this theory that I just posited, and I'm just laying out some pieces here. I'm not making a theory. I'm just laying out some pieces here to instill enough doubt for us to maybe all believe that we don't know shit yet. We don't really know shit yet.
I don't think we will know for 50 years, bro. Like they released
look at the
magic
JFK.
bullet
Look at the
theory.
JFK shit.
Yes, they released it during COVID. Nobody paid attention, bro. They released freaking they tried to release
still
aliens.
A lot that wasn't released with the JFK stuff. There's still a lot of stuff that's not been allowed to come out publicly. When we did the live stream with Hotep Jesus, he had mentioned to rewatch the movie Shooter, the Mark Wahlberg movie. And I went to go look it up, and for whatever reason, it was telling me it was unavailable, but I was actually able to watch it on Paramount Plus. So I'm halfway through rewatching it. It is on Paramount Plus. I do have a subscription to Paramount Plus. So not a plug, but yeah, it is there. And it is, I get what he's saying, because Mark Wahlberg was hired to help like show them how the president could be assassinated so that they could essentially avoid him being assassinated. But they ended up shooting another constituent, a prime minister from another country, and blamed it on the guy that they hired, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And it's pretty screwed up. So I definitely feel like there's more than one player involved in the shootings aside from law enforcement. And what I'm saying is somebody was working in conjunction with or coordinating with the youngin, or the youngin was just a patsy, and there's other people, more than one other.
That's totally plausible, right? I believe that. So on the tech side, on say internet hacking, those are the federal government. That's their favorite play, is to take somebody who they've already found is on the fringe, right? Like former members of Anonymous, former members of other hacktivist groups. And it's like, hey, look, we got this big old dossier. You're going to go away for life, or do a little job for us over here. And they never know when the other shoe's going to drop. They're like, okay, I'm trying to stay out of prison, but dude, they might frame me for some shit anyway. And that happens.
So I'm hearing that Crooks's parents were in a commercial for Trump in 2016. Is this true now?
I've heard that said. I haven't been able to verify it yet.
Yeah, I haven't been able to verify it either.
If that's true, Rice, I'm going back to the simulation.
Yeah, we live in a simulation.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
And whoever's running it is completely fucking with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And by the way, this live chat is just fucking insanely crazy. That's why I'm not really highlighting a lot of shit, man. You guys have fun over there. Smash that like button.
I mean, there's a lot of people that, rightfully so, it's hard to believe anything's real with how many basic, it's like a circus that we've been watching for the last few years. But really why I feel it is very tangible for this move to have happened to Trump, and why I was warning about it, is because we spent the last 8 years dehumanizing Trump and Trump supporters. We've had 8 years of politically elected leaders calling on the public for violence. That's exactly what they've been doing. They've been looking to inflict violence on political opponents and their supporters, not just the opponent. So when you desensitize a population for that amount of time, it leaves the ability for things like this to absolutely happen. And essentially it's giving MK Ultra vibes, but also a major problem within our
any crazy left lunatics to go ahead and do their thing. That's what they've been doing for the last 8 years.
Yep.
And if we take the conspiracy theory out of the equation, I could truly believe this was a long shooter, a lone wolf, a person that acted on his own, again, fed by the media over and over, as Drew stated, conditioning that's been going on for the last 8 years. So it could go either way.
It's polarizing. Yeah. It's almost as if you get PTSD from the mainstream media.
Yeah. I mean, it's very effective.
The narrative, and it just drives you crazy, and you get PTSD, and you end up climbing up a roof and trying to shoot a former president that's running currently.
Yeah. I mean, I worked the last summer of love, right? They paid us, they hired us as contractors, auxiliary to the police department, and it was great pay. but it was a very violent time, and there was a lot of vitriol back then. Now I see the same signals, the same chants coming up for this Palestine movement. Just imagine what the streets are going to look like in city centers after Trump is elected, right? We got to think about what's coming in 6 months.
Because they've been historically, when I say historically, just in the last 8 years, the left have been the violent ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, like
I'm
your
not trying to make
Antifa,
this
like
a stream.
your
Of,
Antifa.
like, I'm not
that's
trying
left.
to divide us any more than we already are. But let's just look at the facts, bro. It's always been the left with these violent moves. You know, predominantly in the inner city. You know, they get mad, we go riot, and we burn
Seattle?
up shit. Seattle,
Chaz,
everywhere,
you know.
man. It's just like
Chaz, there's armed roadblocks. People, patriots.
That
were
was
getting
Seattle,
shot,
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Portland, and San Francisco, and LA, and New York, and all of these major leftist downtown city centers turned into death traps in a blink of an eye. And
Look at New York City.
yeah, I mean, New York never recovered. Like, New York is it's absolutely ready to boil over in New York. If you're in a city center and you can leave, just go to the suburbs just outside of it. You can still drive into the city. You don't need to be locked there. You guys, like, I don't understand people that I just love the city life. I love it so much. I love being able to walk to my little places. Like, it makes no sense if you have a
Well, I know a
family.
lot of people I know have been leaving, especially the New York City area, because of what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
no, I like Drew's timeline. Get out if you can. Get out in the next 6 months.
I mean, not only do you see the valuations within those city centers cratering because you have corporations are uninterested in having their executives get punched in the back of the head or getting carjacked. They are moving to the suburbs. So you see this valuation of commercial and single family real estate having a really hard time in city centers. There's opportunity in the rural and suburban locations right now in terms of real estate. And you know, we can leverage this to make money too. You know,
we can also listen. We could buy. There's so many abandoned towns in West Virginia. We could just buy ourselves a new town.
I mean, you know, we might be able to become the king of that new town if everything keeps rolling downhill like it is. I mean, this country is just on the knife's edge. And
so let me ask you this, Drew. What do you see now for the election? Is Trump going to be the president? How do you feel about JD Vance? And also, yeah, those are two questions.
I think if we're allowed to have an election and Donald Trump is not taken out by his adversaries, he is absolutely going to get that ticket. JD Vance, very based. He's bringing up some questions about, should we have voting here? How many ticks on the voting ballot should parents have? Maybe we should give parents a vote for every child that's their dependent, bringing up some pretty interesting conversations. But he also is, back in the day, he gave a nod to Alex Jones. He acknowledged Alex Jones's ability to bring information to the people. And reading all the stuff that I can find about him, I have not found a reason to dislike him. And that's with me going into this, learning about JD Vance with the idea of how Mike Pence betrayed Trump, right? I was very, very standoffish about anyone other than Vivek having Trump's back. Now that I've learned more and listened to more of the conversations about JD and some of his upbringing in the Appalachians, I'm actually feeling like the guy's pretty dang based. So I like him.
JD's wife they're both pro crypto, but she was involved in the SEC Coinbase lawsuit, helping Coinbase. I think she just stepped down from her position. And I listened to a couple of people mentioning this, that if Donald Trump was to get elected and he was to go, obviously be the VP, that she would be somebody that would be good for crypto, and feels like it would be somebody who would actually be proactive with trying to help the administration versus just doing like typical old school women things like that the first lady does, like flowers and schools and, really generic things. So it seems like, she's kind of a go-getter in that sense. And I think she was actually in the same graduating class as Vivek at the same school.
Yeah. JD named his kid after Vivek. He's got
along with somebody else. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So much comes to mind when we're talking about this. Like, I think that Trump presidency is going to be hyper bullish for crypto. He's going to take full credit for Bitcoin number go up. It's huge. All made in America. It's the best. And, you know, obviously China, they're going to open up the mainland to Bitcoin as well. But I think that monetarily, as long as Trump is able to get his spot, which I do believe he is going to be able to lock up right now, I think that this is probably the best crypto cycle that we're ever going to have right here, right now. As long as we can hold the line, keep Trump alive, and get the polls open, I think that this is essentially that super cycle, that mythological potential.
Well, we got a crash that's going to happen, so it's got to happen before this big, huge crash.
Yeah, Trump. I don't think Trump is the panacea for us. Like, I love him. I believe in what he stands for. He wants to make America great again. Yada yada, all that stuff. I'm down with it. I just think that the train has been in the motion for a destruction in our economy, even maybe before he was in office the first time. Like, I just think I see things really coming ahead in 2025 that even Trump can't stop.
Oh, I completely agree with you guys on that. Like the big collapse, I absolutely think is coming. One thing that I am watching though is that the revenue from that Magnificent Seven, everyone's so terrified of because it's going straight up into the right.
Yeah.
The revenue discrepancy from the valuation of the stock is not there yet, but it will be there. So we got to watch out for when the revenues actually decouple from the valuation of the stock. We got Kelly Kellum coming up.
What's up, Kelly?
What up, Kelly? Yeah, I mean, I'm watching out for that collapse too, guys. I just I really think that it's going to happen about halfway through 2025 or the kind of the end of 2025. I think it's I think we're talking about the same stuff.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the time frame. And
how does Trump handle that? What does he do? What do you think he does?
You know what they do. They print
more,
bro. There is no fix. And you know, that's, you know what they do, because the Trump did not stop the debt from going parabolic. I acknowledge that.
He wouldn't get picked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the
austerity
basically
is not sexy in politics.
This is the debt clock is really where this truth in our future lies. And, you know, also you put on top of it, think about this. This is one hope that I do have for Trump in stopping this national debt from going parabolic is the demand for NATO to float the bill for their little World War III games. Rather than America. And Trump is signaling that he's going to make NATO put the money on the floor if they want to continue the conflict. I hope that is the truth, and I hope I see that. I don't want to see my son fighting in Ukraine 10, 15 years from now for whoever the hell is in the presidential seat. Like, this debt problem is completely, this honestly is unfixable. Like, this needs a full reset, and the reset is how they get it. The Great Reset seems to be falling apart. Yuval Harari is terrified of Trump coming back in. We had Klaus Schwab taken off of the lead spot for the World Economic Forum, even though Klaus had full intentions to serve until he was 100 years old, chaotically enough.
Apparently there were some allegations also about him as well. I think that might be partially why he stepped down.
Well, you know, those allegations are there to begin with, but then they made them public. You know what I mean? And they got him out of place because he's the world's most commonly known supervillain at this point, and it was a bad look for the World Economic Forum. And they don't want this psycho in a, you know, old school German outfit to be the obvious face of their humanity takeover. It made it too obvious, I feel like. So, you know, the debt problem, I just pray to God that we're not at 50 trillion in 5 years. If we allow this conflict to spill over into Poland and Germany, that number is going to be 50 if we don't stop. You know, it's not going to be good, not to mention the loss of lives. We are, you know, not on pace to stop it, but Trump, that needs to be the one thing. If he gets in place, we need to make it a very, very big point to stop the funding of NATO and to make them float their own bills.
I mean, it doesn't matter because, you know, Trump would be chief, but how does JD feel about war? I heard
he's anti-war. He's anti-war,
so
very anti-war.
I heard something different. I heard that he was entertaining.
No, they say that because he's a Marine, bro. And Marines know they don't want to go to war. They know the price you have to pay to be in war. Like, you know, it's a man that knows how to win in war, but he doesn't want to go there, right? And people that have done violence, they don't want to do more They want, like, honestly, you walk around with one in the chamber and a smile on your face and a heart open for listening and conversation, bro, because that's the verbal judo that this country is missing. They don't understand how to just conversate with the other side. I have very, very liberal friends that actually, I have one liberal friend, he's like, JD Vance was into Magic the Gathering, and he started, like, you know, thinking about it and looking at the Trump side now. And this is someone I would have never guessed would have looked at potentially voting for a Republican, but I've left my heart open and the conversation and the door open long enough for him where that conversation happened at the beginning of this week, and it made my heart swell. It made my heart swell seeing that conversation's still happening, because once conversation stops, chaos follows. That's exactly how history works.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're on the cusp of that.
Yeah.
I just wish, you know, people would just be a little bit more sensible and stop taking, you know, it's like your side and just being holding to that very strongly, and not giving it and not being open to the fact that you might be wrong, and you might and maybe the side that you're on is perpetrating this. But again, it's, I mean, the division has been something that's been happening throughout the entire history of, especially the United States. I mean, they've been very successful at dividing us even further. Because now
the Israel issue cut the Republicans in half.
Oh yeah, well, that kind of needed to be done though too.
I mean, it's segmented
rhinos, because the rhino type. Ah, man, it's just a lot to take in. I mean, it's like, and then I've even heard now they're putting out some narrative about supposedly, and it's not confirmed 100%, that Iran was trying to talk about trying to do an attempt on Trump as well.
They came out and they said, hey, look, we would have loved to have part in that. It wasn't me. You know what I mean? They took the Shaggy
song. It wasn't.
Yeah, Shaggy song. You know, I mean, of course, Iran would love a shot at Trump. I mean, everyone remembers Soleimani. I mean, warheads on foreheads.
We took out Soleimani with no effort. It was one shot, one kill.
That was a slap across the mouth.
No one else got hit.
That's a disrespectful slap across the mouth Iran took. They kept their heads low.
Was dope, bro.
Hardcore
that was
after
dope
that
when Trump did that, man.
Yeah,
and was talking shit after he hit him. I was like, yeah, buddy.
I mean, you know, Soleimani out, keep world peace. It seemed like a good trade-off for me when it happened, you know. And you know, the Trump presidency.
I don't know if it would keep world peace, but it to me, it was more of a send a message.
Well, they kept their heads low.
Yeah, because you just create more martyr. I mean, the martyr, you just create more, you know, lunatics in the society who was on Soleimani's side. So I don't know if it really fixes it, but I don't know.
I mean, now they have Joe. They're running amok. There's all kinds of stuff that popped off since Joe took the start. Now we have Iran feeding Lebanon, Hezbollah, all these other people. They're outwardly doing it because Joe is weak. They see the weakness and they're moving. Now, when Trump comes back, you saw Russian militaries writing "this one's for the ear" on their bombs, bro. Like even I believe that Putin and the Russian organization is actually going to be very open for actual peace talks once Trump is in place.
Now, Web3 me, this Project 2025 thing supporting Trump, but Trump doesn't support it. So Trump would have to support and you know,
but at the same time,
you're talking about facts and logic, and that just doesn't play well on the left.
But there's also some similarities, though, I will say, in what Trump is wanting to do.
He's openly, officially say he does not support that.
Now,
I'm not mistaken.
Often is talking about like how are we going to reset and all this. The difference with this kind of a reset is that we are at the complete end of all of these fiat currency cycles. Like it has to be something completely new. And that's not something that we've had before. We've seen a shift in what became the dominant currency, the world reserve currency, like with the Bretton Woods. Prior to it was Britain, and then afterwards it was the United States. But that's not going to happen again. Like it's going to be a completely new system. It's not going to be the dollars that we know, like that are around the world in every country that we call fiat trash.
Yeah. And how did we get to Bretton Woods 1.0? It was World War II, right? It was a complete destruction of your adversaries and then America's the winner. We make the rules. 1970, no, it's not backed by gold anymore. Here, fast forward 50 years later, we have a $34 trillion worth of IOUs, and this connected, because we're consumers of Chinese produced goods and also Indian produced goods. Here's a hot take. I think India is going to betray China at the very last second to then sell us all the goods, and BRICS is going to be split apart into a bunch of different little sectors. I think India wants that world manufacturing position. They're building their infrastructure out to do so. They're slightly, because they've been throwing sticks and rocks at China at the border for a long time. Like, they're not like best buddies of the world. No. And they are competing manufacturing hubs. They're not the consumers. We're the consumers. The largest economy on the planet by far is still the consumer for the world. And they need a place.
Not by far, though, Drew.
It's pretty far.
China's right there.
Far.
Yeah, no, I like where you're going with this too. I mean, they'd have to displace some other manufacturing like TSMC, right? India would have to have a credible microprocessor fab, and maybe a couple to really get us there. But I can see it, because India on the other side, on the consumption side, with technology and with having the smartest, like basically some of the brightest minds in the world, dude. Look at the top Fortune 100 tech companies in the world. They're either run by people of Indian extraction or they're advised by people of Indian extraction, point blank. Yes, there's some, I mean, it's also true that you have some Taiwanese, you have some Chinese. NVIDIA, that's the unique genius, is that they have such tight integration with their supply chain and manufacturing in that side of the East. But man, if we had just a little bit of a nudge, like you're saying, towards South Asia into India, that'd be massive.
That's what
we could partner with them very easily. They partner with us very easily.
Absolutely. That's just like, it's a kind of a deeper take, but that's just reading between the lines. I feel like India's like, all right, sure, China, you run the show, sure. And then in the background, they're building out all this infrastructure. And then all of a sudden, China and Russia will be at the hip trying to go against the American hegemony, and BRICS is going to take over everything. And all of a sudden, a kinetic weapon falls from the satellite, a 20-foot tungsten rod that creates a nuclear explosion.
Rod of God. Round of applause to the rod of God.
And
round of applause to the rod of God.
We are not going to do this anymore.
With it.
Yeah, I mean, and now look at what history happened. Like, Japan is now one of our best trade partners, bro. Like, remember what happened to Japan? Like, this is just a historical thing.
I've got a rod of God too. It just doesn't come from a satellite.
Good one. Well, Drew, man,
insert that joke there, didn't you, Blood? Yeah.
I appreciate you joining us, bro.
Thanks,
I know you
Drew.
got the live stream happening in 4 minutes. I do want to remind people, if they're not following you over on the X side, to make sure they are at Druth Crypto, and then also make sure you guys are subscribed to the Blockchain Basement. You can't go and watch their live stream right now because we're not done with ours. But when we're done with ours, go catch the Blockchain Basement episode today.
I appreciate you, boys. And I look forward to more conversations with you fellas. I'm going to be heading out to Bitcoin Nashville. I'll try to, guys, if you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, hit me up. Let's try to hang out.
I'll see you next week. I'm coming to the media house, and I know you're at the place. So, yeah.
Yes. All right, boys. I'm going to get ready.
All right.
Have a good one. Good show.
Yeah. All
right, Seth. Yeah, I guess the focus is going to be put on you as far as like more of your thoughts on this. I mean, like, do you think that this what was your immediate thoughts when you saw what had happened, and when did you find out about it?
I found out about it within 30 minutes of it happening, and my immediate thought was a little bit like I said. It was initially skepticism, not towards Trump, not towards anybody else. It was immediately my first question was, why is this being shown to me? Not by the person who brought me the phone and I can't believe this. But their demeanor, it's like, okay, this just happened. Why? Why did this happen in such a public way? Let me find out a little more about the facts or whatever. But my immediate thought was skepticism, man. Look, when you're in crypto long enough, when like Rice, a guy like you who's talked to a lot of people, I mean, we're all fucked up. We're all backwards, right? We look at charts, and when we see when we see a red candle, we think buy. And when we see a green candle, we think sell. We're all backwards, right? Like, but for us, it's very much the other way around. Like, we're trained to be just a little bit instinctively like what's the word? Contrarian. Just a little bit contrarian. So my first thought was like, I can't just believe what I saw. I can't just believe it at face value. for sure.
No,
I can't.
I agree with that one because I wasn't sure if what I was seeing was real and just had to keep checking and make sure that there was more actual what I would consider to be reliable sources before I could really confirm that it happened. And that's when I sent the information to Blood.
I found out
he was at a park.
Yeah, I found out through my news source, which I only find out my news through RiceTVx. And he updated me. I was out with my kids, feeding the birds.
Yeah, and I was at a family reunion with very mixed company. Some who would be the type to say like, well, they missed, try harder, and others who would be like, yeah, Trump made it. All right. Like,
hold on. Are you in
Hotep Jesus?
Yeah, are you guys related? Because he was at a family reunion too.
Yeah, what's going on?
Distantly. I mean, you already know I'm an undercover Afro-Cuban brother. Like that's a thing.
Okay, round of applause for my Afro-Cubans.
Yeah, your last name is Estrada.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it means the way. It's the street. We'll get you there. All right. So yeah,
so,
but
okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
No, it was just saying like, yeah, at this particular event that was mixed company, and I'm like, oh my God, if I just said this out loud to this room, it would be perfectly divisive. I'd have this person at that person's throat in 2 seconds, depending on how I said it. So I didn't say it.
Man.
I'm like, I'm keeping it under wraps. I want to have a good time with my family. I'm not going to talk about this.
That's
yeah.
So
how many posts or people have you seen talk about ending friendships and relationships with family members because of how they're reacting and what they're saying about what took place? Are you seeing any of that? Because I've seen a lot of my friends talking like, if you're going to say this is staged, don't contact me. And like there's like I'm talking to family and friends.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. I think I get really angry when I hear people say it's staged, but I step back and
look at this stranger.
Hack crypto. What the?
Good seeing you, my friend.
Oh my God.
Much love.
I just step back, man, and just let people have their opinion. Sometimes they do it for clout to just get attention online. Sometimes it's true. I don't know, man.
Hotep's a Mormon? Is that what's up?
So there's a small army of Black Mormons. Yeah, when you find one, you'll know. Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely don't think Hotep's a Mormon.
Shout out to Hotep Mormon.
We got that could be the next meme coin or somebody can create. There you go.
Jeez.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hotep Smith. Hotep John Smith.
I appreciate what Blood is saying there though about people getting that up in arms about like don't talk to me if this is if you believe anything other than
but
that.
I just stop. I'm not gonna go that far. Like I think you saying it's staged or someone saying it's staged or why did you hit? I just leave it alone, man. It's no point in getting your blood pressure up over a guy. I see someone saying Trump is an actor. Does he care about you? ? That's what Jonah is saying. He doesn't care about you directly. That's why I won't really wear a Make America Great Again hat in public, because I'm not about to die or shoot somebody and go to jail over Trump, because he ain't going to come save me. Okay, right. So there is a limit to my support for him. Okay, at the end of the day, so.
Sure.
Yeah, like I was telling Bud, I support Trump, but I'm not gonna go and do the dance monkey thing and sign up for my privilege of voting and ask government, hey man, I'm gonna register with you as a voter. No, I'm not playing that game. So, but I do support Trump.
Yeah, same here.
Sure. I think I support the idea of Trump. I mean, what y'all are saying
I like that.
That's more, I guess, of what this is, because I mean, it's much more than to me the individual at this point, because of the things that he seemingly is trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So I love so it looks like our friend Steve here is asking a relevant question, and I think it's very reactive. I think RFK got there first, and I think that RFK was enough of a threat on the campaign trail that Trump's team said, it's not really you versus the other guy, it's you versus this guy. This guy has the ideas that are capturing the minds and hearts of the youth.
I've had 2 people reach out to me and say something to the effect of not going to Bitcoin or rethinking going because RFK Jr. and Trump will be in the same place.
Yeah.
What I'm not looking forward to is having my asshole search trying to go into this conference.
Pretty much. Cavity search is coming, homie.
Yeah, right. Never. Don't meet your heroes.
Well, that's happening for Bozak. Bozak's getting the cavity search for sure. If he's going to be going to Bitcoin conference, he's getting it. But the security is not going to be fun. Actually, I'm going to stay away from Bozak while I'm at that conference.
Yeah, you gotta wonder at some point. You mentioned like the sanity of like being a fanboy for a politician. You gotta at some point you gotta question all of our sanity for doing some of the stuff that we do in the crypto ecosystem. Like we just paint these giant targets on our back every other weekend. We're like, you know what? This would be fun. Why don't I just talk publicly about this thing that
I don't think about it that way, Seth. I think that, you know, like we said before, these kind of conversations need to happen, and more people need to hear conversations like this so that it could be an example of how others can have similar conversations. And that's how we can get away from this divisiveness and find common ground, because that's the one thing is there is common ground. I told Blood about stories of like specifically this one crazy story of these two racist people, a black dude that hate white people and a white dude that hated black people, but they ended up becoming best friends because they both smoked cigars and they found this common bond over cigars. But otherwise, they hated each other's race.
Sure. But I mean, all I'm saying is that it's all fun and games till, like you said, the body cavity search is on the menu. Like, why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Sometimes I question.
And then I was thinking maybe it's just going to be the day Trump's there, but no, it's probably going to be all 3 days. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get in and out of that conference, which I like to go out and smoke, and that's going to be a pain in the ass.
They'll probably have like a smoke section within the perimeter.
Hopefully, because it's ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous having to go through that much crap. I mean, I find it fascinating, being, you know, this technology of Bitcoin being put out and the white paper or Halloween 2008 and the first Bitcoin being mined and created January 3rd, 2009. And now in 2024, we got a presidential nominee, former president, going to be speaking at a Bitcoin conference. I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting when you had people like Edward Snowden. But this is almost like another level. I mean, like Vivek is an RFK, but not a former president.
This is what has me worried about it. The real revolution, Rice, the real revolution, Blood,
televised.
Will not be televised. What the fuck are we looking at? Why the fuck are they showing us?
If you go to my other channel, Rice Against the Grain, you can actually watch the interview that I did with Larkin Rose, who is the guy that wrote the movie, wrote the book, The Jones Plantation. Yes, you definitely got to watch that movie. I sent you, Blood, I've sent you like the old animation about that, the story of the people who were slaves on the plantation given a choice to vote for their master. But if they just realized that it didn't matter who the master was, they were just going to keep getting screwed in the end. So yeah, definitely got to check it out. And it's a good movie, and there's a short version of it.
I wouldn't consider Trump that scenario. I know. I know a few people in the chat room feel like he's an actor. He hasn't done anything. But if you objectively just zoom out and look at Trump as an individual, as a brand, what did he really gain from running in 2016? Absolutely nothing. He lost money.
Look at the headache of all legal shit.
He's the only president that actually lost a significant net worth going into that. And he admitted during I believe an interview he did either on Fox or something, where he said he was not going to run again. I don't know, maybe he said it during the debate, but he said, I was not going to run again. There was literally no reason other than to, it's to credit his own ego. He has a huge ego. He thinks he can go save the world. So he thinks he can save America, but he's doing it in an altruistic way, in my opinion.
So I think also that can all be true, and he can still be a useful idiot for some groups' desired ends, right? Like in the same way that the fog that covered the world in end of 2019 into 2020, it might not have been something that anybody in a position of power was initially planning on. It might not have been as planned as some people say. But then once it became a reality, it was like, oh, cool. Never let a good crisis go to waste. We got to make sure that we enact authoritarian policies, push through omnibus bills, and grab more power, because we can right now. If we wait, this moment is gone, and we can't enact our other plans that would require this level of public concern and panic, like we will not be allowed to grab this much power because we can claim it's an emergency. We found out exactly how urgent it really was in the end. Not quite as much as they claimed, but did we grant them all that power? Yes, we did. I mean, it's the same playbook we've been saying for our adult lives. 9/11, when you initially saw that on TV, you were gripped with terror, right? You weren't initially thinking like, oh, something's not quite right here. They might grab emergency powers that we never relinquish. They might, suspend habeas corpus and come up with any bullshit excuse to whisk, a grown man out to Gitmo indefinitely.
Yeah.
For, without probable cause, even other than just naming him an enemy combatant.
Patriot Act and all that forfeiture stuff, all that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Our adult life, the hallmark of our adult life, if you're bridging Gen X into millennial age, your adult life has been watching your rights slowly erode because of every little manufactured crisis. So as much as I want, again, and what you just laid out, Blood, that to me is the idea of Trump. And I love the idea of Trump.
I'm with
and
you.
I worry that's being used against me to manipulate me into giving more power up.
Interesting.
If you're talking about Vincent Fusca, I met him in Washington, D.C. on January 5th. I partied with him and drunk with him, and he is not JFK Jr. He's too short. He's definitely too short.
A question for Web3, my guy over on my side. He said Trump was a bad businessman who was born with a silver spoon. He lost money. Is not an argument for Trump. So I just have one question for you, Web3 me. How much was revealed Trump had in cash in the New York case? I think the courts ended up revealing he had $500 million in cash, liquid, $500 million. I didn't know he had that much. I was like, damn, it's a lot of money to have liquid. If that's a bad businessman, my friend, you and I are complete failures. Complete failures, because we don't have anywhere near $500 million in cash.
Yeah. What is Trump's quote though? By the way, Blood, that take was incredibly based. And also, somebody said that your mic is low. I agree. Your mic is a little bit low.
It is. All right.
Yeah, a tiny bit. But
up a little bit.
Hey, giver's gain. Thanks for giving the gain. But yeah,
right, that's a good one.
I like
that's
that.
A good one.
We're some funny motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, dad jokes, man. It's age appropriate. So as far as, sorry, I get to say that because I don't totally look my age, but sometimes I act it. Anyway, Trump, my issue with his quote about I started my business ventures with a modest loan from my parents. What was his quote? What was the dollar amount?
$2 million or something like that.
Yeah, if it's a modest loan that starts at 7 figures, may have been 8. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there are games that are played at a certain level because you have a safety net. So you have a fault tolerance.
Trump being a somewhat narcissist. Like he doesn't want to give his dad that much credit for giving him that launch pad. That $2 million loan. He's a modest $2 million. He wanted to, that's how I took it. However,
didn't
even at $2 million
from his father too?
At $2 million, Seth, I think you're businessman to take $2 million and make it billions. Most still can't do.
Yeah, no,
that's can't do.
It's unique genius, man. It's tenacity. It's tenacity for sure.
It's the art of the deal.
Oh my god,
the art of the deal.
And if you guys haven't ever seen it, there is an Art of the Deal movie that was put out on Netflix that has Johnny Depp playing Donald Trump. It is amazing.
What year was this made?
A couple of years ago.
What?
I think it's still on Netflix, but yeah, look, Johnny Depp playing Donald Trump. Let me see if I can pull up some images of it because the accent, everything, man. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah. But he may have personally paid Johnny Depp's salary to ensure that happened. That's as far as casting, right? That'd be like
Of course,
Yeah,
insider trading off near. Definitely, he was doing inside. Listen, you don't get to the $1 billion level without bending or breaking the rules. It's just not. You can mistakenly become a millionaire, okay, but you cannot mistakenly become a billionaire. That's my assessment on that.
I was seeing if it had like a trailer for it, but it stars Johnny Depp. Ron Howard's in it.
Trump wasn't home.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting.
Jeez. Well, and now after this week, Johnny Depp's going to have to do a sequel, isn't he?
So yeah, there he is, right here.
That's funny.
That's Johnny Depp being Trump.
That's hilarious.
From like and it's like Art of the Deal era stuff. It's pretty hilarious.
Funny or Die. Okay,
Wow.
so it's one of those like mid budget productions on Funny or Die. I thought it was a serious thing.
A full, yeah.
No, it's not, but it's not like derogatory either. It's just it's pretty interesting. It's funny though. I think it was interesting to see Johnny Depp doing Donald Trump.
Off near is Griff top signal? Like, we haven't seen Griff in a while. Maybe Griff is top signal. Round of applause. There's a tinfoil, spin the wheel conspiracies going on over on Crypto Blood side.
Let me ask you gentlemen this then. So since this is a unique opportunity and a highlight of my week, I think we've talked about this offline before. The majority of my time goes to advisory and consulting services and building a business called Blocks Media Group. We're incorporated in Estonia and also incorporated in the United States. And so we do some really interesting things. A lot of behind the scenes stuff though. So I'm a little less visible than I used to be. So this is huge for me, and this is where you get me basically completely unfiltered as with these two gentlemen. So if you haven't hit like on their channels, then please do.
I think we have that effect. I realize that there is such thing as unfiltered blood, and there is a such thing as unfiltered rice.
Oh my God!
They actually exist in real life outside of this simulation.
Amazing.
Nope.
Well, then let me ask for the unfiltered versions.
You get
if you were to indulge me a little bit on a conspiracy theory side, we haven't seen the full story. We don't have the full story.
No, I said, that's why
I
go back and watch that Shooter movie. That's why I'm watching it, because it's giving me a different perspective on this. Like, and I did watch it before, but it wasn't something that I remembered very specifically. So rewatching it made me recall like what was going on. And definitely, I feel like a lot of what we see, a lot of what they show us and what is distractions for the stuff that they're not showing us, and in so many different areas.
Yeah. Okay. And so with a little more specificity, what do you think they're not showing us?
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, obviously, I think the real shooter involved in this, or the fact that there's more than one 20-year-old kid to pull this off. That doesn't seem likely that this young man, 20 years old, was, unless I'm wrong, but just based off of what I've seen with people talking that I went to school with him and knew him, there's no way that he did this, especially by himself.
Gotta have a patsy, man. You got to have a patsy.
So who really did it? And then really there's obviously so many motivations and so many different people that would like to see this take place. It's like, it's hard to really focus in on who specifically did it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Trump has obviously made a lot of enemies. It's almost a very similar situation to McAfee. Like, who the hell knows who actually took McAfee out? There were so many people that probably wanted him dead that we don't really know, because he was taken out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. He had so many enemies. It's like, how can you really pinpoint what happened?
Yeah.
I'll play it towards the end of the video. Bag baby.
No, he Lil Bag wants to see the whole thing.
Oh, well, he's got to find it.
He's got to wait. You got to wait.
You got to find it. It's somebody's going to have to find it in order to be able to see the whole thing. That's all I'm going to say.
Do you have the whole thing?
I have not the entire episode. No, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to find the entire episode, but I have the snippet for the episode, which has, I would say, most of like my thing that was going on there. There was the only thing it didn't include is the very end. Like at the end where they pull everybody up and the audience asks questions. At least that's what they used to do. I don't know if that's what they still do or whatever. But I had basically the person that I was on the show with, I dissolved the relationship, but it really wasn't actually. But I did it on national TV. I dissolved the relationship, and I was like, basically nobody asked me a question. I just kind of nipped it in the bud, and like nobody asked me a question at the end because I just like pretty much dissolved. I came out, attacked the guy, and then dissolved the relationship with the lady, and that was it. So yeah, if you guys can find it, good luck. McAfee was in Cuba with Pac. Nice. I didn't know Tupac was in Cuba. Okay, where is Michael Jackson at? And Elvis, where the hell is Elvis? And don't forget John Denver.
Can't forget John Denver.
Can't forget John Denver. As a matter of fact, talking about John Denver, though, let me see if I can pull up this before we wrap things up, because this is interesting. Because why would John Denver want to fake his death? That doesn't make any sense at all, does it?
No. Then again, being in entertainment, he might have needed witness protection.
That's the one that died in the plane, right?
Yeah, he did that song, Take Me Home. Country Road, Take Me Home. To a place I belong.
Shout out to THC. He said Trump should have had Jesse Smollett as VP. Round of applause. Absolute fuckery right there. I love it. THC.
This is one of the strange rumors. You guys ready for this one? And this is more likely than JFK Jr. because JFK Jr. would be taller than me, and this guy was shorter than me. But this is interesting.
Yeah, your buddy, man. He looks like
that's John Denver.
I know, but I'm saying he looks
like John Denver.
No, I'm just saying your guy, whoever his name is, he just looks weird, man. Like
so does John Denver. That's John Denver right there, like back in high school.
That guy looks like a grown ass man.
That's John Denver. So John Denver, Vincent Fusco.
Why do they keep comparing Vince to all these people?
Here's the comparisons with again more.
Oh my god.
And this is on X. Let's see who's posting
funny,
this. Oh no,
man.
unable to view this because this account owner limits who can view their post. That's so crazy. How can I see it on here but not be able to actually look at the? That's
wow.
Weird. Yeah, and now you see right here in the corner.
Q9, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Qs.
Shout out to the Kool-Aid drinkers. I had to block a couple of them. We're
not talking about these Qs, not the not those Qs. A different Q.
It's been a good show, man. I appreciate you guys doing this. And I really, before we wrap things up, make sure you guys are following Druth over on the X at Druth Crypto. Make sure you subscribe to the Blockchain Basement if you're not already following.
Wait, hold on. I gotta just interrupt. So the Vince guy, he was at Jan 6.
I didn't see him in DC.
You told me you met him.
Oh no, yeah. What am I? Yeah. But I didn't actually see him at the rally. But he was in DC.
he was there.
He had to be there. But yeah, he obviously was not.
He was at the attempted assassination.
If you go back when Donald Trump was running in 2020, he was behind Trump at every single rally. That's why everybody.
How?
Somebody thought he was important.
But how, Sway? How does he keep getting within feet of Trump on every significant event?
He's a nice guy. He's small. He's not threatening. Maybe he asked and they let him do it.
Is he a major donor? Is he at all?
He doesn't seem to be wealthy. From what I gather, he lives in the Pittsburgh area, so he's already in that vicinity. He hasn't been going to rallies like he used to go to. So, and some people say there's multiple versions of that same guy. But I think that's bullshit too.
Oh my God.
What he told me, because He's the guy that said that I reminded him of Walter Cronkite. And I took that as a fucking compliment.
Hey,
As anyone
Walter
should.
had a storied career, yeah.
So I'm drinking with him.
should.
I'm serving drinks. This is with Bruce Porter, Washington Elite. Bruce Porter was the one who had the spot. If you guys know him, I'm not sure, but he's the one that had the spot. And I was serving, I forget the
Rice. They're
was-
going
there was
in, bro.
there
They
was
said
a,
you're the head of CIA.
I might be.
They've cracked the code.
No, he's just the neck. He's just the neck of the CIA. Don't get it twisted.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh,
Wouldn't that be crazy if I woke up tomorrow morning and that's what the simulation did to me if they made me the head of the CIA?
Oh my God.
But it is weird, dude. Like I went to go stay.
It's a little weird,
I'm
bro.
staying at this guy's
He's
house.
the
I'm
same
staying at this
fucking guy is like-
I'm staying at this guy's house. Bruce Porter. He invites me. I had no plans of going. It's crazy how it ended up working out. Someone I knew was driving, and then Bruce offered me a place to stay. It was like something wanted me to be there. And then when I go there, I knew there was going to be a party. I knew that he was inviting a variety of people. He said he was hoping General Flynn would show up. I didn't think anything like that was even going to take place, but
You told me that. I think
I
remember you telling me that.
came down the stairs from taking a shower before the right as the guests were starting to arrive, and when I came down the stairs, I'm looking at Vincent Fusca, and I'm thinking to myself, of all the fucking people in this world, why are the two of us together before what ended up being a fucking
An iconic,
iconic day?
Iconic, not iconic. Yeah,
I'm definitely not a
iconic.
fucking snitch. Now I want to take offense to that. You can call me CIA, but I'm not a fucking snitch.
Uh-oh.
There you go. He's an unpaid informant. Don't ever accuse him of getting paid. God damn it.
Yeah,
No,
that
being-
guy's
being-
a little.
being
Vince
the
is
head.
a little.
Being the head,
That's a
I
little
call
weird,
shots.
man. I think he's a simulation agent, like just planted. He just
so
like,
what I was
pops up,
getting
like
at-
in the Matrix, you know how
after
the
talking
agents just
to
go.
Because look, I'm serving him tequila. He's drinking, but he's only drinking half shots. He didn't want full shots. So I was drinking too, and you guys know how I get when I drink. So I'm like, you want another baby
Drink,
shot?
motherfucker.
No, listen. I'm like, you
Fruit
want another baby shot, Junior?
Mmm.
I was doing that shit to him. I was, and he would not let me interview him. I was trying.
Why not?
That's why. I mean, we were all hanging out partying, but that's why he told me I reminded him of Walter Cronkite. And then the very next day, I'm hanging out with I shouldn't say, some people in the crypto space that ended up showing up. But yeah, I have an interesting life, but so do these guys too.
Crypto's great. Here's the thing, man. Like, and so like you bring that up also, Rice. And I mean, yeah, having got, I think I would know, spending the amount of time around you that I have so far. I think I would know if you were that much closer to the CIA than you admitted to being.
Oh yeah, you would definitely know.
Ironically enough, Rice and I were having this conversation last night about who we thought was a CIA plant or agent.
Oh, one of our
Government
friends who
agent.
doesn't like to show his eyeballs.
There's some other people too who disappeared from the scene for about a year and then came back with a fuck ton of money. Wow, they were really successful outside of crypto and showing a lot of interest in it again, hanging out with all the influencers. But yeah,
Who is this?
we can talk about that offline. But here's the
Interesting.
thing: this is the person who I was with at a crypto event where at an after party, 2 IRS special agents walked up to us and identified themselves as IRS special agents and tried to offer him a consulting job,
Who?
which he turned down very publicly in front of me. He's like, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I'm with the culture." Am I right? I'm like, "Oh shit." That's why.
I need to know who this is. I need to get this tea after the live
Yeah.
stream.
Yes, you do. But this is the
Well, I mean,
ninja
dude,
person.
that's what I mean, in many interviews with Whitney Webb, I mean, she's
Drop it in the chat, private chat.
You need to question. You need to question some of the content creators that are out there and what their motives are.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Because there's a lot of people that might be sponsored but don't disclose their sponsorship. I'm government sponsored.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why for me, so
This show is brought to you by the CIA itself. Thank you.
Holy shit. Please don't speak that one into existence. That's like art imitating life.
No,
Next,
that
it'll
makes
be in the
sense.
show.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
so-
Now, that makes sense. And I don't know if you remember, but I've had issues with that issue, that individual, if you don't remember. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I've spent some time around this person who very clearly has some training in tradecraft. So there's
and mental issues.
And a former career working directly for a federal agency. So there's just a lot where it's like, okay, they don't let you go, man. They never let you go. After you have certain clearances, you're never really out. So anyway.
We are all sponsored by the Secret Service. Just disclose that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Thanks, Andy, for clicks for reminding me. I'm pretty sure your boy Vince is John Titor. Round of applause.
He's a time traveler.
Yeah, Vince is John Titor, bro. I can't, like, he looks timeless. That's what it is. His face looks timeless. Like he could just be from the 60s, the 70s, the 1800s. Like,
well, he was in the
weird.
70s.
Strange,
when he wrote Country Road, he was in the 70s.
Yeah,
look at, just zoom in on that guy, man. He looks so like fake, like it's a mask on. Maybe it's the after five
I swear
shadow
to you,
beard.
yeah, it's not a mask.
Yeah, I think he dyes his hair and beard. I think that's what it is. I think he's gone gray, but he doesn't want you to know.
Yeah, he definitely dies. He definitely dies. And he wears and it doesn't help that he wears a George shirt, because if you guys don't know or remember, George is a magazine that JFK Jr. started. And he named it George because they claim that the CIA had a lot to do with the assassination of his father.
Dude.
I don't know if you guys know that story.
Now go to the clip of Trump attempted wig splitting, so everyone can put two and two together, just in case they're just catching the tail end of this shit.
What do you mean?
Play the clip at the rally where your boy here, John Titor, is in the back.
He's
out of the line of fire. Out of the line of fire.
Out of the line of fire. Play that up real quick, bro.
Well, I'd have to actually get the video. So
you don't have the video?
Trump dance out of the line of fire.
No, we reacted to it from CNN, I think, or something. I can't remember what we played because we
just watched it at the beginning of this stream.
That was a that was a slow motion tweet. Let me see if I can go back to that real quick. Thanks for reminding me. You are the other half of my brain sometimes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Maybe it's this one. No, not that.
There might be some tax benefits to you guys just tying the knot in one of these states. Just saying. Yeah, I said it.
No Diddy.
Where the fuck was it?
Platonically tying the knot. Shit. I always go misconstruing my words, blood.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, what's weird, and a couple of people were noticing that I've seen a lot of people, like big content creators, YouTubers, that are doing reactions, and they all talk about him because he's so noticeable, and he's just standing there. But
and he's like, he
has problems with his legs. Maybe this is. I don't think you're going to see him in this.
No,
yeah, because he's over here on this one. So,
whoa, who's that dude with the that dude with the Hulk Hogan goatee?
Right here.
He's white.
We coming for you, nigga.
You see him right there?
Yeah, it's like white. It's like one of the Steiner brothers.
Oh, no, didn't show it.
Let me see here. Hold on.
We gotta show the people, bro. This shit is, again, simulation, man. I'm sorry, we're in a simulation. I'm convinced.
Where's the live stream that we did? Oh, here we go. This is from the Hodge twins. Fuck. Over here.
There he is, ladies and gents.
Standing right here.
How am I missing it? Oh, whoa! Yeah, no, it's his favorite hat, favorite shirt, favorite jacket.
He's wearing a George shirt. He's wearing the same outfit. No, actually, that's a different shirt.
No,
he's just standing there. He's just standing.
He's way too cool. That motherfucker's way too cool.
Way too cool.
Out of the line of fire. Out of the line of fire. Acting way too cool. Now, stupid motherfucker.
Now that is now, Seth. That's after 8 or 9 shots. Correct.
At
that point,
none of these people are using suppressors.
Shot. He's still standing. The lady beside him's not sure what to do.
She's not sitting down because he's standing.
He's still standing. He's still standing. He's just standing there. He's like one of the only guys. He's just standing there. He's looking around.
Yeah, it's like that James Franco. It's like that James Franco meme. He's turning into this person first time in a presidential shooting. I pity you.
Maybe I actually met a fucking time traveler and didn't know it.
Dude.
What if he just like disappears like radon?
Oh,
under the ground
Rice,
right now.
We got to do this, man. Now the three of us will definitely get caught up in a dragnet at the next conference. They'll be like, hey, so we want to talk to you about some things.
Indeed.
Look, you can see him right here. It's like he's right here. That's still him right here. It's
he
like
doesn't react to anything off near. No, that's after
like,
8 shots from
the
AR.
Look at the white glow right there. That might have been when he teleported back to his time.
That's when he teleported over to the flag to turn it into an angel. I need the rim shot. Sorry.
There you go.
Actually, what was I thinking about? There was something I had a really good joke for that. It'll come to me about that thing. It'll come to me. I had a
AB said he knew it was a show.
Dude, how did he know he was out of the line of fire?
He just stood there, bro. Like maybe he's got Parkinson's or something.
They said he has bad knees. He is an older guy. So to finish what I learned about him is I don't know what he does for work, but he is a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
You can't work if you're a time traveler, Rice. What the fuck are you talking about?
He apparently drives around a Pittsburgh Steeler van, like detailed van, and takes people to the game. Like he's like transportation for people. So that's what he told me. Now, Bruce Porter knows him. Bruce Porter has his number. I've messaged, because I told you I messaged Bruce Saturday to try to get him on the show with us because I wanted to talk to him. I'm like, I want to talk to somebody at the Trump rally. And I'm trying to get in touch with Vincent, but Vincent doesn't want to talk to Walter Cronkite over here.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a way, because here's the thing. One of the couple things happened. He had prior knowledge, or he's just so old and tired that he's like, all right, Jesus, it's my time. Like, go ahead. I'm down here.
Yeah,
believe me, off here,
Rice, you got to get him
trying,
on, bro.
I'm trying. Okay, I've already messaged. If you guys want to tag Bruce Porter on the X and say get Rice in touch with Vincent Fusca, now we can all do that. So you guys can make tweets out there, and his handle is at Networks Manager. Networks NETWORKS Manager. I guess I can pull it up and then you guys can, because I've messaged Bruce, and then I even sent another message with just his name, Bruce ? He's not responded back to me, but Bruce has his number. And if you guys want to tag Mr. Bruce on X and say Bruce Porter,
Bruce, get him.
You need to get Rice hooked up with Vincent Fusca. They need to get him on a show. He needs to come on with Rice and Blood, see if Seth's available, and we need to make this happen. We need the time traveler to join us. JFK Jr., John Denver, whoever he is, he needs to come on our show. And this is our connection. This is our ticket to it, people. So tag Mr. Bruce Porter and make sure you make your voice heard. Shout out to the Porter brothers.
Well, great stream, guys. Thank you. Make sure you guys go follow all of us.
Yeah, let me pull that up because that's the last thing I was doing before.
And good luck since you're Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, maybe I need to start using some of his taglines. Make sure you guys are following Seth on X at MineYourBiz. Make sure you're following Blood on the X at CryptoBlood_. Make sure you're following me on the X at not me there, but RiceTVx. We have links for each other's channels and socials down below in the video description. I mentioned to Blood, if you two want to do something next week, you're more than welcome. But if not, I'm coming back on the show with us doing this Three Wise Man Wednesday on the 31st, 2 weeks from today, and Druth will be joining us for Preparing for the Apocalypse Part 2, unless something crazy happens between now and then, which it more than fucking likely will.
Jeez, right? Say your prayers.
Yeah.
Eat your vitamins and say your prayers.
Yeah, and stack the ammunition.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, guys?
No, We've been saying it. We've been saying it. Lead and brass, best investment ever, especially now.
Yep, I agree.
All right, you guys smash that like button. If you're watching on X, please repost. It'd be greatly appreciated. I encourage you, as always, to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in this man. Just be the change you want to see in this world. Question everything. Know yourself. And until next time, was that fast enough for you?
That was pretty dope, bro. I thought you were, Eminem or Twister or something.
Holla. Yeah, that's how we roll. No, that's me from DC.
RiceTVx, the Mike Slide Wire, American Pitbull, real gold buyer, sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice, the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that punk. Spit on that thing.
In the arena where truths collide, RiceTVx, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom lights paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.